meditation. So my name's Claire Hartman, and I'm a representative for Action on Postpartum Psychosis, which is obviously a fantastic charity that's been put in place to help women and their families that may have had postpartum psychosis in the past or might be going through that experience now. 14 years ago almost, I had postpartum psychosis following the birth of my son Bailey, who's now a strapping young man, taller than me, and I'm 5'8". We have a fantastic relationship, very close, but it obviously wasn't like that at the time. It was a very scary experience for myself and for my family, and it took me a good part of a year to recover from that. And along that journey of recovery, I discovered almost by accident and by instinct some mindfulness and meditation techniques that helped me become more present in the moment and helped me remain a little bit calmer in a very chaotic situation. It wasn't always easy, and it was something I had to continually keep practicing in order to try and gain a little bit more control of my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions. I did go on to have my daughter 3 years and 3 months later, and by then I've been practicing some mindfulness meditation techniques, and I had her at home. We had a birthing pool, and it was a completely different experience. Whether that's luck or whether that's through some of the coping mechanisms that I learned, I'll never know, but I do know that it has helped me deal with many a stressful situation over the years. It's helped me with my relationships, with my family, with my children, with my husband, and it's helped me cope with day-to-day stresses in life. My own personal practice increased from there, and then in 2016 I decided I wanted to reach out to do some training and to teach other people. So I followed the Breathworks route, and I did their training program. I took their course, Mindfulness for Health, Mindfulness for Stress, and then I took the training program in order to be able to teach those two courses. And I now teach classes either at home or before lockdown in a hall. Let's get started. Tip number 1. This is quite an easy one to start. So this is every time you pick up your phone, your mobile phone, as I'm sure lots of us have got a mobile phone nowadays. Every time you pick up your mobile phone, got it in your hand here, I want you to just take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. You can do that a couple of times. So we're going to check Instagram, we're going to check Facebook, we're going to do whatever it is we're doing on our phone, ring someone up maybe. We're going to take a deep breath in through our nose, out through our mouth, and just create a little bit more awareness as to what's going on in our minds and what's going on in our bodies. Finish doing what we're doing. Another couple of deep breaths before we go on to our next activity. Now you can also practice that when you're sitting on the loo. So you go into the toilet, you've been rushing around all morning, and you might sit there and just think, I'm just going to take a couple of deep breaths. I'm just going to be aware of what's going on in my mind and aware of what's going on in my body. And you might want to do that when you get in the car if you're going to drive somewhere, which is again something that we do a lot of on automatic pilot. So rather than just get in the car, drive off, just to sit there for a minute, take a deep breath, and just become a little bit more grounded and a little bit more aware of what's going on. So number 2, be in nature. So get a chair, go out and sit in the garden, close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, open your eyes, and just look around you. Just be aware of what's around you. Be aware of the trees, be aware of the flowers, the colours, be aware of the sounds around you. It's a really windy day today, so maybe just sit and listen to the wind. Or if it's a gorgeous sunny day, sit and let the sun warm your face and just become aware of that. And just sit there for a moment or two. Could be a minute, could be 5 minutes. At the length of time we can just build up, but if we don't practice mindfulness at all, then even 30 seconds is better than not practicing at all. So the next one that we're going to do is art or drawing. So if you're a budding artist, this is something that could be quite easy, quite enjoyable, quite fun. and just to sit down and maybe do some colouring in a mindful colouring in book, or you might want to draw something off of a YouTube video tutorial, or you might want to just freehand draw a sketch, or draw some fruit, or draw a self-portrait. And self-portrait is a good one because it brings up quite a lot of judgments. So again, we're being aware of the breath, we're being aware of the thoughts, and then we're coming back to the practice of drawing or painting or whatever it is that we're doing at that time. So we're not changing anything, we're just creating that awareness in the present moment. And number 4, you can do this one from indoors rather than outdoors. So if it's a slightly blustery day or a cold day or a rainy day, then just sit by a window and just observe. Just kind of play I Spy and observe what's going on outside. So it might be in your back garden, you might want to see what the clouds are doing floating in the sky. You might want to see what the birds are doing, or you might be just looking out the front of the house and seeing what's going on out the front of the house. But just taking everything in with a sensory experience, becoming aware of the sounds, becoming aware of the sights, and just becoming aware of any inner judgment or any inner thoughts that you're having, and keep coming back to the practice once you're distracted. So number 5, this is a fun one, music. Put on your favourite song and really immerse yourself in that song in the present moment. So sit and listen to the lyrics, listen to what they're saying, and just see how that makes you feel. See what emotions come up for you. See what connection you might have to that particular piece of music, or what judgments or thoughts that you're having in connection with it. And then on the flip side of that, you could put on a piece of music that you don't like quite so much, that maybe jars you a little bit. And then again, sit there and see if you can listen to it, even if it's only for a minute, and just be aware of what you're thinking. You know, oh God, I can't stand this music, or this hip hop stuff. Be aware of the judgments that you might be having towards that music. And then number 6, this is a great practice, eating and drinking. A couple of my favourite practices, especially in lockdown. So it could be something simple like a raisin. A raisin exercise is a really good one for mindfulness. So you put a raisin in the palm of your hand here, and you'll be surprised at all the sensory experience you can have from one tiny little raisin. So you just first of all have a look at it fully, have a really good close look at it. Be aware of the textures on it and the colours on that raisin. And then maybe hold it between your thumb and your forefinger and just press it and see what it feels like. And you'll be surprised if you put it up to your ear, you can actually hear the sounds of a raisin. And then give it a good smell, see what it smells like. And we're being aware at the time of what we're thinking. Like you might be thinking, this is a little bit silly, I don't know why I'm doing this exercise. That's perfectly okay. It's just creating that awareness of our thoughts, awareness of how we're feeling, and then coming back to the present moment, the task in hand, which is our little raisin, and then popping it on our tongue and just holding it there. Are we thinking, I just want to swallow it, I just want to eat it? Or are we thinking, I'm not sure I even like raisins? Just again creating that awareness of our thoughts, holding it on your tongue, tasting it, holding it around the roof of your mouth, noticing any saliva that you might have whilst you've got that raisin in your mouth, and then eventually chewing and allowing yourself to swallow that raisin. And you can do this exercise with almost anything. So you might want to choose your favourite thing like chocolate or a strawberry, or you might want to do it with a cup of tea or a glass of fizz. And each experience is completely different. And sometimes it can be disappointing and sometimes it can be amazing. So for me personally, strawberries are a little bit disappointing. I've noticed that I really like the smell of strawberries and the taste is sometimes a bit of a letdown. Chocolate is amazing, and a glass of Prosecco is quite mind-blowing. If you just hold the bubbles in your mouth, they literally explode. And then a cup of tea is really soothing and really calming, just to hold a mug of tea or hot chocolate, smell it, taking that actual experience and just sipping it really, really slowly and enjoying every mouthful. So that's food and drink. And then what else have we got? We've got go outside for a walk. So a mindful walk, again, using all your senses. So noticing any sounds around you, noticing the temperature of the air, whether it's a cool breeze, whether it's a warm sun, just being aware of that. And at the moment, obviously, if we're exercising, we're in lockdown, being aware of how you're feeling. If you come across somebody else on your path, on your country walk, aware of how that makes you feel, aware of your emotions, aware of your judgments, and then just coming back to that experience, looking at your feet as you're walking along the ground and just observing the birds in the sky and the trees and what's around you, just really taking in the present experience with all of your 5 senses. And then another one that you can do, it's another fun one, is get your body moving. So maybe put on some music and have a bit of a dance around the house, a bit of a home disco perhaps. And this might create some judgment. You might be thinking, oh, I feel really silly, or why am I doing this? Again, creating that awareness. Give yourself permission to be silly. Give yourself permission to let go and to just loosen up and just have a little bit of a boogie. And then another one, number 9, is take a mindful shower. Now, this is something that hopefully we do every day or most days, is we have a shower or a bath. Just taking that whole experience of the shower, of the water just hits your body, what the temperature of the water's like, what the water looks like as the droplets run down your body, what it feels like, what you're thinking, how you feel, and just enjoying that whole experience as the steam maybe fills the bathroom, and just taking your time to enjoy that experience. It's something you probably take for granted every day. And then number 10, and this is another popular one in lockdown, a lot of people are doing. I personally like a bit of this, and we've done quite a bit of it lately, a bit of baking or cooking. So we've been making scones and Victoria sandwiches and lots of other things with the kids. So, take that experience and use it as a mindful experience, perhaps. Again, using the senses, the smells, the tastes, the textures of the food. If you crack an egg in a bowl, what that looks like. Or as the egg goes in, if you're boiling an egg, what it looks like as the water swirls around the egg, something like that. And just being aware of your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions and your judgments in relation to something that we probably do regularly, even if it's just cooking our dinner, or baking if it's something that we might enjoy or something we might not enjoy, being aware of how that makes us feel. If you just choose 1 or 2 tasks and just maybe do it for a minute, 5 minutes, just build up a practice from there, and just all we're doing is creating awareness of how we're thinking, what we're feeling, and what's going on in our body, so that we can stay present in the present moment. And you will get distracted, you will get thoughts pop into your head, and that's perfectly normal. We're not trying to get rid of those. We're not trying to have a clear mind in any meditation or mindfulness practice. We're creating an awareness in the present moment, and creating an awareness of any judgments that we might be having, so that we can be kinder to ourselves and we can be kinder to others. So I hope those tips helped. I hope you can maybe build some of those into your day-to-day life. I hope you can try and learn a new skill perhaps. They can help you if you're going through difficult times. It's not going to change the difficult times. It's not going to take that away from you, but it might bring you back into the present moment, where you might just snatch a bit of calm amongst the chaos.